Thank you so much. And Takata, I want to have some fun. I want to pick a horse in this race. And, you know, I'm just looking at the leaderboard, looking at consistency, eliminations. I think it's time. I think it's time for Chapantini. They've been getting the forecast tower more times than not. They've been making deep into these games, and they're ready to fight anybody at a moment's notice.
You think Chapantini heard Camiseti, Chapantini? Look, the cutoff right now for top 25, which qualifies you to the upper bracket tomorrow, is literally Merstash and Malabuka at 86 points. Ooh. And I don't want to see them qualify through consistency. I want to see them qualify through a victory royale. So I'm going Merstash Mali. I think they've got this under control. They've been getting a bit of practice. They've got enough practice now, guys. The joke's over. Okay, you can win a game. You know, we spent a bit of time like having fun. Now it's game time. Okay, it's time to lock in. It's time to focus, which is exactly what Odin and Gold need to do as well. Ending second place in the last match. They were the only duo that was up in that late game. I honestly thought they had it. They got a little split up though. Knocked down from height. A little confused. And were not able to pick up that VR.
Shooting the brawlers. There just came a hot spot, a popular zone. Akira and Easy rotating on over from where I do believe they were kind of contesting Seti and Cammy over on that split drop over there. And we've already seen Cool and Voltiax from just the right of Brawler's Battleground enter into this fight once already. So Brawler's Battleground, especially with the zone rotating on over in this direction, some early game action with Pixie being, I feel like, the only one that has some things that went down with his teammate going dropped altogether. You see him rotating towards the outside. And I feel like he definitely has a lot of time to wait if he's looking to get that reboot card back.
Taking a look at my pick here, Merstash Malabuka. Let's see how they started off. I want to see the loadout. Are they doing an aggressive early gameplay here?
Yeah, I like it.
They know they're not contested. They've had issues with damage later on. They say, why are we going for it in the late game when we can take engagements here in the early game? I might be mistaken, but...
Wait a minute. I was going to say if you see that, but it's more of do you not see that? Who's not over here right now? No Swizzy, no Vanyak in sight. The medallion is still up as well. So I think Merstash, Malabuka, whether he went down or not, they might have saw something in the feed that they liked, and this is giving them a green light.
No stopping here if the shot's connecting. Ooh, laser beam from Merstash, and he's not done.
Dosage is getting chased down. Malabuka finally finds him. They still look and see Skyv. So whether Skyv is going to get the reboot or just simply disengage, it almost looks like back-to-back medallions might be collected by Merstash and Malabuka.
That's brutal. A lethal duo to have double medallion. This could be the game. This could be the match we've been waiting for.
So this is just going to be one of those situations where they literally have everything that they need now. They got that early elimination, which means it gives them a little bit of surge. It's not a ton of surge to feel confident going the rest of your game without worries, but it's enough to where they've looted their red line. They got the loot they wanted. Now they have Brutal Beachhead all to themselves. If that solo's going to come back, they have another chance at surge. So we're just going to leave them there for that moment. Let the dust settle for Malabuka and Merstash. We know they have a good game going so far. Unlike Sky and Scroll, who instantly get taken down. And it's almost a blessing because they started the fight against somebody else, and that blessing is only going to last for so long as Ice and his duo get another elimination. The full duo, not just one, but two full duos are now down and out on that side of the map. I was talking about how congested Brawler's Battleground actually is in a lot of these moments. This is just north towards Mount Olympus. So a lot of those players that might have third-party down there are no longer here, which is going to get them a little bit of an easier rotation, especially since we know Podesai and Snazy don't necessarily go all out on that side of the map, or at least to start off the drop.
Cammy and Seti looking quite healthy here. Good amount of shield, good amount of loot and materials, but it's all about the late game.
68 players alive. I feel like this is the quickest we've gotten down to this number in a long time, which is going to change up a little bit of the gameplay through the mid game. There's going to be a lot more freedom if you're able to catch a duo out of position and nobody else is nearby. And I'm glad to see Yanis is back. Pixie doing his job. Zone not really threatening too much, even though if they stay here, they will be in the zone. One tick with just a footstep away from actually getting in. There's literally no worries for Pixie and Yanis, and this is like best case scenario from how the early game started.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how this game's going to play out, though. In the most recent match, it was full aggression throughout the whole mid game. So I wonder if that's going to change up. Players that can continue with that, trying to just go all or nothing, or if maybe they'll take a step back and say, okay, look, it's only basically top 25 to continue in the upper bracket tomorrow, so it's not like we need a really big game to make it happen. And maybe they just have to play for the late game, but Bad Sniper likes the aggressive idea. 2 elims already racked up.
Man, this is the spot I was talking about. Literally after game 1 where QNTX and Phantom qualified, this is what opened up. And we didn't see it initially in game 2, maybe not even game 3, but as teams fill each other out, maybe you go down early, you check the replay, figure out where everybody's dropping at and try to switch up accordingly. But with multiple teams, like you said early on as well, having that same idea, this is exactly the result I expected to see.
Taking a look right on over to Nathan and CZV. They went down early in the late game in the last match. However, they're still holding strong on the leaderboard. I believe they're, what, top 5 right now? Not including, well, the winners who already qualified. So they're basically first place on the leaderboard. All they have to do is hold on to this position, and they basically have their upper bracket guaranteed. So maybe what they will do is even play a little extra aggressive and try and take out some players that have been causing trouble on their rotations, potentially.
Yeah, I feel like though, the only thing they have to lose is that grand final spot, which isn't even guaranteed either way. They have their upper bracket spot secured as Cade finally gets found out. Enough search and you'll find him, especially since you got a lot of time. The zone barely closing in. Vico's just trying to break through these builds. The walls are the weakest, so that's why it takes one pickaxe. He's able to immediately go in with the nitro, and there goes the other angle. Cade doesn't have eyes on the back of his head, and Vico takes advantage of that fact. Almost boxes him in. Doesn't matter if it's your box or my box. Vico says, I'm going to take you out nonetheless, even though it's taken just a little bit longer than anyone would hope. I just feel so bad for Cade right here. He's literally stuck in a glass. They're putting him in a museum at that point. Look at the animal I just found.
What can you do in that situation? I mean, it's literally just a matter of time before you get eliminated. I have respect, though. He was jumping around trying to do what he could to come out on top. But unfortunately, that's going to be the end of the run today. For Reason and Vidil, though, still a long ways to go. 6 nitro splashes, 2 colas, even with Spare on the ground from potentially that elimination that they got earlier on in the nitro drone.
Right now, they have Levin rooting for them as last game winners, 92 points. Barely above that threshold for the cutoff of upper bracket as the game started. We'll see where that cutoff is as it ends. And so far, even with only 1 elimination, you see that they're just kind of calm, cool, collected, taking their time. Even with a duo running around and multiple opportunities to get shots in the distance, it's kind of like they're sticking to the game plan in which they practiced up until this point.
Pixie now forced up a big pot. Might double down here as he has a bit of time to recuperate that shield that was lost during the engagement. Yanis looking like he picked up one as well. More of a southern zone this time around. I'm not sure if it's going to continue pulling south, but I don't think we've seen a lot of south end games today, Jacob.
Yeah, not a lot at all. I think, I want to say the furthest south was around Reckless, maybe the halfway point, which is a little bit of a mix-up from what we saw in some of these zones during the qualifiers, which I think is causing a little bit of confusion for some of these teams. Not a lot, though, as a lot of them are flexible, able to get around that spot. Cool, and Voltiax, they switched up their drop spot, their game plan a few times here today. Sometimes taking it slow, looting up. Others just trying to get early damage for Storm Surge. And they're just hoping this last game, the few minor adjustments they made after game 4 is enough to pull them over the top.
This is the second time, or even third time, I've seen Nathan and CZB kind of make this play of being crouched up, playing slow and calm, waiting for an opportunity to kind of surprise one of their opponents. They know that they're looting the bunker right now, and it's a matter of time when they start rotating in that line. It's walking right into Nathan's path, and there it is, the double shotgun shot. Quick elimination, now the 2v1. All they need to do is finish it off quickly. I wouldn't even chase here, but Nathan wants it, and it paid off. quick elimination, extra loot, extra damage, everything you need to play out the rest of this match.
And we can see moments just like this right here and how they really affect the game. Even though they don't need the elimination for points, they didn't necessarily need it for loot. It's just building that confidence, building that Storm Surge so they don't have to worry about it later. Like I said, Zones 8, Zones 9, Storm Surge just a little bit more active. That's where they usually fall short of the potential. And I want to see them in this game use these early game fights to as much advantage as possible, get a good position in zone, and that way when you get into 8th, 9th spots, you have very, very little to worry about.
You know, I said I wanted to see a Merstash Malabuka VR in this last match, but I wouldn't mind a Queasy Thomas either. The first game was the only game we saw them fully commit to height. If they're able to do it in this match, it might just be enough.
A lot of opportunity going around the lobby. Akira, easy, switching up their drop spot. Over to Brawlers this time around, and now they run into Yanis and Pixie, who's ready to get a little bit of revenge because of that. But only 14 shields. He needs to be careful not to overstep his boundaries. Pixie ends up in the wrong box. He's going to get dropped. Just a sliver of HP left on the easy. Yanis can't take advantage of that. Not just yet. He just boxed up his teammates. He's trying to force them to him, and that's going to be the best chance, especially with the Cola Pop. He has to buy the time. Akira goes in, and Yanis and Pixie go out. That's a big momentum shift for these guys who have not been having the best day so far.
What a way to close out the fight. Accidentally picked up his opponent, causing him to get eliminated. We can take a look at the replay, too, of how Pixie ended up going down. What a shot connected. I'd say it won them that fight. Camiseti, the duo, one of the duos that spent most time in zone, as you can see from their playstyle, where they do like to play out in the zone and continue their loot path.
I was thinking for a moment how much Akira and Easy switching up their drop spots are going to affect Cammy and Seti. Then I see 2 eliminations already. So I don't think it's affecting them too much. They're used to a slower start and having to hunt for these opportunities. So it's almost no surprise that they staggered themselves so far back into zone to where you're more likely to find a team that doesn't have resources, that doesn't have heals, and that being the main reason why they staggered themselves so far back.
Merstash Malabuka now, once again, going for the Rift Island. In the last match, it was successful. They secured 2 eliminations from the players that were here contesting them. Will they be able to do it once again? It's a different duo this time around. Looks like it's Combek and Porhawa.
You know, even with all this fight going down, I wondered who has the medallions. Is it one each? Does Merstash have both of them? Because Malabuka's trusting him with the mythic loot altogether. That's a loadout that you'll never shy away from. And I do believe Merstash does at least have the Brutal Beachhead, the medallion that gives you nitro. You see his feet are on fire right now. Just don't know about the other one.
Trying to look here how aggressive Merstash and Mali actually are going to play this out, or are they just going to take their time? The flag hasn't been fully captured yet, has it? There it is. Now it has. Merstash Malabuka claiming the rest of that loot. The shots are going to be traded.
That was cheeky. They weren't even the ones that captured the point, but because they built up it the way they did, you saw them leave the capture point, they uncontested it, and then the loot pops out of nowhere. 200 IQ play from Merstash and Malabuka.
Good way to claim it. It's what you love to see. Wouldn't expect anything less from a duo like Merstash and Mali. For 9 and Della now, continuing with the same surge-based strategy that they've been rolling throughout these matches today. But now it's time to rotate. Zone has not pulled in their favor, so they're going to recuperate what they have lost and figure out a way to make it in.
Couple of reboots going down outside of the map. You see they're looking forward in towards the zone. Just trying to get that information, maybe some surge tags, but they're just trying to see who's in their path in front of them. What is that perfect rotation going to be? And then the timing has to be crucial. If there's a team like above you, in front of you, most times you have to wait for them to begin to rotate before you can as well.
Voltiax and Cool taking a look at their surroundings, seeing what sort of opportunities they might have. We see Potosai and Snazy in a nice little surge base. The new POI here that you talked a bit about, Jacob. The boat Kind of reminds me the old chapters. I forget what the POI was called, by the volcano. You know what I'm talking about?
Was it Lazy Lagoon?
Pirate ship. Was it Lagoon? I think it was. Lazy Lagoon had the pirate ship. Good times.
There's not really
the cannons as well.
Yeah, there's not really like a difference maker of loot over in this spot. What really makes a difference is teams are contesting it, or maybe you don't get the chest spawns that you wanted towards the outskirts, but now you have this giant boat, a giant ship. And now we got Pirate Queasy, Pirate Thomas now just trying to take command of that ship. And I don't know how many teams are actually going to rotate in this direction in terms of in the ship, around the ship, because it's something that's so new and you could be hiding in there around any one of those corners. Thomas and Queasy are using it as a way to kind of shroud their location, because if you were to build, you see the fresh builds, you know they're there. They're using windows, they're using the top of the ship, the back of the ship. It's almost like they purchased it before the match.
Maybe they did. As a quick reminder as well, so we've already had 4 players qualify directly to the grand finals from securing victory royales in these matches. 1 more will book their ticket as well in this match when they get that win. But for the other players, it's top 25 on the leaderboard, including the already qualified duos to the grand finals. We'll make it to the upper bracket tomorrow, and then the top 30 from the lower bracket that's playing right now will also make it to the upper bracket tomorrow. Well, they have another shot at trying to secure a VR. And day 3 is where the consistency matters the most, Jacob, with 25 duos qualifying through consistency in the upper bracket, and then after 15 from the lower bracket. A lot to be played out this weekend, and we're just getting started.
Yeah, lower bracket round 2 is the place you don't want to be in, because that is literally the last chance. You don't make it out of lower bracket round 2, your FNCS is over. And that's why I feel like me and you, Takata, would put so much importance on being in the upper bracket, qualifying for the finals, so you don't have to be put in that pressure cooker at the end of the week on Sunday with it's basically all or nothing. You make it to the grand finals, or you got to watch the rest of FNCS, including the Global Championship, on the sideline with us.
Tarps now. Inside of a tarp, but not one that I would want to be in with the amount of pressure that's being applied. 320 below as well. Jacob, this is the last situation you want to be in for the final match of the day.
And that's not just an elimination worth of damage that they need. They almost need 2 full eliminations worth of damage. So even if they go ahead and attack any of these guys, you see 50 chunk of HP missing, 50 chunk of shield missing, and now they're falling further and further below with active surge. Tarps and Noya, they need to figure it out now, because they do not have enough heals to out-heal this, because even if they survive this zone, they will not survive the next.
Storm keeps ticking. HP getting lower and lower as the big pot is being forced here. Good news, 6 minis, another big. They've got a lot of heals, but the amount of damage they need, they need more than an elimination, Jacob. They need a full duo wipe here, as an 80 is gonna be enough to take out one, but still so far away.
Only went up
From
75 damage. Only 75 with that elimination. That's what I'm saying. You need full eliminations at this stage in the game. The majority of the lobby is like on scraps, really not able to get full HP, but that's another way in. Just quickly makes your way into the box. Tarps needs to be careful. Stairs separating him and his teammate, and that's going to cause Noya's demise. He got a couple shots, but still, even if he escapes this, 270 below the threshold. Still active surge. With only minis in the inventory, he is definitely on the clock, and it striked midnight. He is out of there.
Good night as we switch on over to a duo that's looking, you know, it could be worse. They've got 197 damage. They've got a decent loadout, pretty good materials. Not exactly in zone yet, so the crash pad rotate is going to come through. Nice and clean, but actually got knocked in the sky. Hi, Frozy. What went wrong? As Giraz and Chari now doing a good job of connecting shots off the cool.
Yeah, shots when it's needed most. Very little damage below the threshold. A sneeze will get him above that threshold, but it's the stage of the game. Everybody's boxed up. Nobody wants to take those opportunities to peek, especially if you're well above that damage threshold. It's almost going to be box fights, one of the few ways that you can start to accumulate that surge. 30 below. Giras and Chari are starting to fall further and further below, and that sparks the Nitro. They'd have to rotate anyway, but now with active surge, they need to figure it out now.
51 below. The clock keeps ticking. Chari gets knocked down, gets eliminated. Giraz follows behind shortly. Who got those eliminations, though?
Nathan and CZB out of nowhere. They didn't get the first elimination, though. He went down straight to Surge because he didn't get knocked. He just got straight eliminated, and that's the big difference maker of Storm Surge. And now it's Cool and Voltiax feeling that same pain. There's a lot of distraction all around. That's Perhawa and Combeck. They try and have the line of sight. But once again, Active Surge being the difference maker. And he gets flanked, shot from above. The edit comes in. Voltiax trying to scramble around. He can only take 3 ticks. That's about 20 seconds.
Last match ending up being one of the most stacked games. Storm Surge is not saying sorry to anybody in this match. Everybody forced to play extra aggressive as Voltiax is able to connect the shot, but with just 30 HP, he's a couple ticks away from getting eliminated. Not much time left as desperation for shots come through, but I don't see too many options here, Jacob.
Yeah, a huge blessing because Storm Surge deactivated as soon as the next zone closed. He has about 16 seconds here. Storm Surge will activate, and he can only take 2-6. That's about 30 seconds from here on out for Voltiax to get damage before he is out of the game, and the opportunity for finals in the upper bracket is gone.
Flowberry Fizz is found. How much, though? 100. That could be the savior that he was looking for. It's going to get popped, I assume, fully here. Issue is, zone pulls a bit far. Storm Surge is now once again active, and it's going to start ticking. Voltiax going to play the safer route, cover himself a little bit, but right when he finishes with his Flowberry Fizz, his only option is to play aggressive, but he's cracked 1 tick away, and he's eliminated. It looks like this is the end of the road for Voltiax.
Yeah, that was bad sniper. Just saw him in the distance. It's the Flowberry Fizz, which is why you saw him hesitate on using it. Rightfully so. He really didn't have no other choice. And this is the first sense of the high ground. 9th zone. It is going to be moving. Stacey and Podesai have to concede it because on the other side of the front side of zone, a whole nother team has based up towards height.
Malabuka now forced to play to pick up Merstash, but he has no time. Now another duo came to finish them off. Malabuka, though, with a double edit, unable to connect the initial shot. Good news is, does not have to worry about damage. 30 builds to work with.
And yeah, I was right. Merstash had both of those medallions, and they already went on over to somebody else. So Malabuka, no mythic loot, no medallion. He's up to himself as a solo in a world full of duos here. And on the high ground is Cringe and Volko. They get contested very shortly by CZB. No Nathan in sight. They're back to the lobby and have to go again tomorrow.
What a find, though. That's a good upgrade for Cringe now, as they have more than enough materials to hold on to height. And Malabuka, did he pick up 1? Did he pick up 2? He has 5 eliminations, and he's playing alone.
Right now, if you look at that leaderboard going into this game, remember it was on 86 points. Malabuka has to do what he can. Very little placement points so far. Most of it coming through eliminations. He looks back, finds Volko flying through the sky, and that's how you make some plays happen for Malabuka. 1,200 above the threshold, still being a driving force for the team.
This clutch is crucial. They were the cutoff to qualify to the upper bracket. They were the last duo on the 25th spot. So Malabuka needs to make something happen. And that is exactly what he's doing. Retakes high ground for his 7th elimination.
He's already had one of the more historic plays in these semifinals a couple of seasons ago to bring Merstash back and win it and qualify. Now he's doing it here yet again. He's well away from everybody else. Not too many struggles. Vico, Flixie, they're just trying to steamroll, and they take down Thomas. Queasy was able to get out for a quick moment, but how long can he survive?
A couple more eliminations being racked up. Thomas HD's been fully eliminated. Queasy left alone as he's put into pressure. Duos in his surrounding area. He has to find a new layer. He has to find a new path, but he's doing a great job.
About, I think, 6 solos in this game right now, one of them being Queasy. Majority dominated by duos, but on the high ground, nobody really has a chance to look up. Second night is even Queasy. Maybe Vico, maybe Flixie can kind of look up, but nobody really has a chance. They are just taking on each other, and Malabuka's persistent pressure is not allowing them to breathe.
I don't think they even know that it's a solo up on height. You can see how dangerous it looks. If you look at the clouds, he's made his own structure up above. It's Cammy and Seti, though, full low in the dirt, now on the train tracks, looking to see if they can pick up one more. It's a solo close by. They're making sure to stay ahead here. Look back at the players that might not be as healthy as them, but you gotta be careful. The retake comes through for height. Malabuka, he's not giving it up.
I think now with two other teams there, he might have no other choice but to try to disengage. He still has the Flowberry Fizz. He has the Nitro. Fall damage is not a worry, but he is going up yet again. Finally, he gets shut down. Vico, Flixie, this is their moment with 6 eliminations. They already have upper bracket secured in terms of consistency. Now it's about that win and the grand finals.
The raid boss has been shut down. Now it's all up to Vico and Flixie. They drop down below. The only other duo, I believe, is Cammy and Seti holding on strong, as now it comes down to the final moments.
Couple of med kits getting started a little early. Cammy's gonna be fresh out. A tall challenge for him and Seti. 2 duos left in this game. The only solos towards the backside of zone, trying to heal off as much as possible. But it's gonna come down to the final fight. 2v2. Flixie's going towards the outside. He's ready for plan B. The heal off if necessary. Down goes Vico. Cammy's now by himself, looking for any med kits. Doesn't find it. And we talked about the heal off. Flixie's out of everything. It's a 1v1. Casper and Prism out of nowhere. 6 eliminations. They steal away the game and that spot in finals.
From the shadows, from the zone, from the heal off to the victory royale. What did we just witness, Jacob? It was the final 2v2. We thought it was all up to the Cammy Seti to clutch it from the low ground up against Flixie and his duo, but out of nowhere, Prism and his duo partner finishing it off, taking home the VR in the last match of the day.
It was like seeing a ghost at the end. Everything was shaking out like they thought it was supposed to. The med kits going down early, full HP. Flixie didn't even know where to turn. And Casper, that was a 6th elimination and the most important elimination of his day. Congratulations and welcome to the EU Grand Finals.
I was trying to see where they were positioned on the leaderboard because I think they literally just clutched up. They might have been going to lower bracket, but now they're not even going to uppers. They're going to the grand finals, but this time you don't have to wait any longer. We're going to head over to Frankie, Levin, Mini, break down what we just saw.